Good morning. My name is Betty Kingori. As you've heard, I'm a fourth-year student at Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. I study mechanical, manufacturing, and materials engineering. I am also part of an international organization called AIESEC. AIESEC is present in 126 countries, and the mission of AIESEC is peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. And we believe that we can achieve this through our exchange programs for students, and also by the 6 values we live by, which is striving for excellence, living diversity, leadership, enjoying participation, and acting sustainably. Are those 6? Was someone counting? Okay. So today I want us to really enjoy participation, okay? So I'd like to start by taking a statistic in the room. How many of you who are here have encountered Centonomy for the first time? Like, this is the first time ever you've heard about Centonomy. Okay, not a lot. I've heard about Centonomy from somewhere, true? For me, it was not different. I encountered Centonomy 3 times before I decided to take the class. The first time was in September 2013. I was just going through my Facebook timeline, and I happened to see a post by Caroline Mutuko. And next to the post was a picture. And that picture was Caroline Mutuko and my classmate from high school. Her name is Amanda Kanya. So, of course, I got interested, and I decided, hey, let me read what Caroline Mutuko has written. And she had said, "Thank you, Amanda, for making my morning." And from high school, Amanda was not one of those people for whoop, whoop, making people's mornings. She was just kawaida. So I was like, hey, Amanda, what is happening to you? You're making Caroline Mutuko's day. Hey, what is this? What's happening? And Caroline Mutuko had said, "Thank you, Amanda, for making my morning. Today I have learned that Centonomy is an eye-opener. The Business Daily and the Harvard Business Review make for good reads. Old Mutual speaks to young people. And finally, that is the last thing. Okay, those 3 things. Yeah, those 3 things. So, of course, being a teenager, I just I wrote, "Congratulations, Amanda," and I moved on with my life. That was in September 2013. The next time I encountered Centonomy, it was closer home. And guess what? My parents were doing Centonomy. So it was February 2014, if I'm not mistaken. And my parents generally like to go for seminars once in a while. They're all about increasing my knowledge, blah, blah, blah. You know, when you're a teenager, you're just like, wacha wafanye kile wanataka kufanya. So I thought Centonomy was just a one-weekend thing, and then it was done. But to my shock and dismay, Centonomy was actually 11 weeks. And more annoyingly, Centonomy was this thing that was making my parents very conscious about money. So I moved from being in all events. Friday, Betty Yako Lifestyle. Saturday, Betty Yako Wapi. Sunday, I'm somewhere else. I moved from attending all social events in Nairobi to attending almost none, because now my financial resources were strained. My mom became so conscious of how she spent money. Ata change ya 1 bob alikuwa anataka. So what happened is, for all the children, or basically, you know which parent to go to when you want money. And for me, that has always been my mom. Because my dad is like, "Why do you need this money? Can I just buy you a book?" I'm like, "No, I want to go out. I just want to relax with my friends." But my mom sort of gets it, because she's more social than my dad, if I can say. So I moved from receiving money from my mom to being told, "Do not include me in your social activities." So now I had practically no income, because I'd just finished Form 4. I had not signed up to, I hadn't been accepted to the university yet. So from Monday to Saturday, I was just chilling at home. And once in a while, when I see an event on Facebook, of course, I wanted to go. So you see, now I didn't have any source of income. For once, my parents were synchronized in how they used to use money. And I came to appreciate Centonomy because I've seen the lifestyle change that my parents have gone through after attending Centonomy. So since I knew I was going to speak today, I decided to ask them, okay, what is the one thing you took away from Centonomy? And my dad said for him, the biggest lesson he learned was the time value of money. And what that means is a shilling today is worth more than a shilling tomorrow. Why? Because it can be saved and it can be invested. And through that lesson, he says, quote unquote, I was able to reorganize my resources so that I can add onto my passive income. And what that means is, he was able to, he tells me that he had bought a plot in 2008, and he didn't do anything with it. He was just a normal Kenyan. Nimenunua plot, nangojea appreciate. Alafu after some point, when imefika like double or triple what I had bought it for, he would have sold it. But after attending Centonomy, he was able to reorganize his resources, and now he just finished building 10 apartments on that piece of land. Isn't that amazing? My mom says that Centonomy notified her or made her aware of the fact that she could become financially independent. And what this means is, if my mom stopped working today, that she would be able to live the same lifestyle that she's living while she's working. And so her biggest goal after attending Centonomy in 2014 was to be financially independent 5 years after that time. So in 2019, I'm going to ask her, Mom, are you quitting your job? Are you now financially independent? And my mom has taken great steps towards achieving financial independence. My mom, after attending Centonomy, stopped buying lunch in Upper Hill. So now we always cook excess food at home so that she carries the food to eat during lunchtime. And she's told me by this, she's been able to save 3,000 a week. And that means she saves 12,000 a month. And that means she saves 144,000 a year. And do you know what she does with that money? Can anyone guess? Sorry? She saves it? No? Wild guess. Sorry? Exactly. That's the money she spends during Christmas. Isn't that a good way to save money for Christmas? And the best thing about that program is that she's convinced her co-workers to do the same thing. And that's some of the things, or those are some of the things that Centonomy does to you. It makes you aware of how much money you have, the cash flow that you have, and how you can use it wisely. Another example is, my parents have 2 cars. And previously they used to drive both cars to work. But after Centonomy, they decided they would only be using 1 car. And they fuel that car with 4,000 shillings Monday morning, and they use it for the rest of the week. My dad works at Kencom, and my mom works in Upper Hill. So my mom uses 30 shillings from Kencom to Upper Hill, and the evening she walks. So that means how much does she spend on transport a day? 30 bob. So these small things are what count. And the last thing, or the last interaction I had with Centonomy before I was like, yes, I have to come, there was a guy I really liked. Yeah, and he attended Centonomy. So I felt, wow, I need to also attend this thing because the friend zone is real. I need to find a way to get out of this friend zone. And talking about money, financial literacy, you know, assets, liabilities, yeah, we would be able to bond on that. But sadly, I'm still in the friend zone. After all this effort, I am still in the friend zone. I hope he's not somewhere here. I don't think he is. Yeah. So, Centonomy Campus Edition costs 10,000 shillings. And it's a 5-week program. And to you, or to some of you, 10,000 shillings may seem like a lot of money, but it's really not. Some people say knowledge is expensive, but I say try ignorance. I really loved my time at Centonomy Campus Edition, especially the first lesson. It was called the image trap. And that's what I feel like most young people go through. You want to have the latest things. You know, I went to this event, I did this, I own this, my mom gave me this, so I bought this. We're always spending. Us guys, we know how to turn 1,000 shillings to 0 bob. Just give it to us and we'll show you. Before I attended Centonomy, if I was coming to town, I would just ask myself, okay, how much is fare going home? I'm like, 100 bob, just in case of emergencies. But it's usually like 70 bob. So 30 bob is in case I need to call my mom and ask her for more money. So I used to just remove the 100 bob, and the 900, it would be spent to completion. Spent. Like hakuna yenye imebaki. If anything is to happen to me along the way, I would have no money. So Centonomy Campus Edition, like I said, has 5 modules. The first module is about the lifestyle dilemma. We have a module on savings and investment. We have a module on the wealth creation mindset. And lastly, we have a module on career planning and development. So these things that are described on this poster are just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much to learn. And you know, standing here, I know most of you just wish you were me, true or false? Being financially literate at 22, I have my whole life ahead of me. I don't have any income right now. Actually, I only handle around 10,000 Kenya shillings a month. Some of you are paid 200,000 and you're able to finish it in a week. I don't even understand how that is possible. How? What do you buy? What do you buy? Yeah. So, like I said, the classes are really interesting. It's not like being in a classroom. It's more of sharing. It's very interactive. I can be in class and be on Twitter. It's just nice, really. It's just so nice. From Centonomy, I've learned how to budget my money. I know that I receive this amount. From this amount, I want to save this amount. And the rest will be planned because I live in Juja from Monday to Friday. Therefore, I need to be able to survive from Monday to Friday so that on Saturday or Friday evening, I go home. Yeah? Are we together? Okay, great. So some of you might be wondering how my life was like before I attended Centonomy. And I can start by telling you, before I went for Centonomy, I used to be a mattress banker. And what this means is, I love to, saving for me has something I've done or I was taught from a very early age. And for me, in our house, it's always save not less than 1/10 of any income you have. So if my mom gives me 1,000 bob, I always save 100 bob. Yeah, so saving for me has always been a thing. So what I used to do is I used to save my money haphazardly. I keep it in my room, it's somewhere in my bag, I don't know. Yeah? So when my money got to a sizable amount like 5K, 10K, I just used to convert it to dollars and still keep it in my room because there, which shop am I going to buy things in dollars? And then I'll think, okay, I need to do X, Y, and Z, but I still need to pass by a Forex. That's too much work. So that's how I started saving my money. So I used to check up on my money occasionally, because like I said, it was just haphazard all over the place. So I'd have like $200 there, $500 there, just somewhere. And then I used to check occasionally. But one day I found $200 missing. And that's a lot of money. That's so much money. And you know, when I went to my folks and I told them I kept $200 here and now it's missing. And I can remember my dad just said, that's your problem. Like he felt absolutely no remorse for me because my dad is a banker and he doesn't understand how I don't have accounts. For him, it does not make sense. So that for me was a learning point. So when I attended Centonomy, I learned about current accounts, saving accounts, SACCOs, all these places where my money could be invested and it could be safe. So immediately after attending Centonomy, I went and I opened a current account. I didn't even know there were student accounts where your money has no charges. You know, I went, I opened a current account, and then I went and also opened a savings account. So the savings account is what I used to save the money that I spend on traveling. Are we together? Yeah. The second thing is that I'm in 2 chamas. Yeah? I feel so old saying that. I'm in 2 chamas. The first chama is with my classmates. As I said, I'm an engineering student. There are 65 people in my class, and out of those, only 8 are girls. So the struggle is real. So to just keep ourselves bonded, we decided, let's have a chama. So this chama, we pay 800 bob per month. And if you don't pay by the 10th of the month, there's a charge of 50 bob. So I usually just like to pay 850. And with this chama, we have tried all sorts of businesses. Even the bundles Mwitu one, that one, we used to sell bundles Mwitu to our parents especially. Parents, friends, uncles, anyone and everyone you can think about, because we wanted to increase the money in the chama. Also, we had this brilliant idea of starting a shylocking business. So students borrow from our chama, and then they pay with 15% interest. Because someone will need 1,500 anataka kwenda blankets and wine, 2,000 anataka kwenda out, X anataka kufanya nini. So we actually make a lot of money from it. And we started saving, I think, last year around July. And currently we have 200,000 just from that. Yeah. So we saw a niche, we saw guys like to spend money, so you know what, we are going to give you an avenue to borrow from us, provided you can pay us with 15% interest. And how it works is when you bring someone, you're that person's guarantor. So if that person doesn't pay, then you pay the chama. The second chama I'm in, we contribute 2,000 a month. And that chama I'm in with my friends who I travel with. And so that money we usually keep with the intention of using it to travel. So basically, I'm in 2 chamas. I save around 2,850 with those chamas. And then I also still maintain the culture of saving 1/10 of every money that I encounter. The last thing I want to talk about is, yes, Centonomy is a course about financial literacy, and you will learn a lot. There's so much to learn about money. But more importantly, Centonomy is about a lifestyle change. And that's something you need to keep in your mind as you go through the course. Because most people think, after attending Centonomy, Maze, I will be a millionaire, I will have apartments, you know, I'll know everything about money. But if you don't change how you live, then Centonomy is basically useless. Because there are people who go to Centonomy and nothing about their life changes. For me, I had a chance to change my lifestyle when I went back to campus, because I attended Centonomy between May and July of 2015, and my semester normally runs between September and April. So in September, I had an opportunity to sit down with my parents and tell them, okay, now you need to stop giving me money weekly, rather give it to me monthly, so that I can be able to plan for my spending. I know my A, B, and C essentials in the budget, and you learn all about all that in Centonomy. The second thing is that when I went back to school, I stopped eating at the posh places in school. In Juja, you can either eat inside the school or outside the school, but for me, I prefer to eat inside the school because there's a level of cleanliness inside the school and trust. But within the school, there are around 5 different places you can eat. There's NSC, which is usually for lecturers. It's a buffet. You know, you just serve, and then you pay later. And it's usually like 300, 400. There's the staff cafeteria, which also employs the same thing. So where did I used to eat? Those were my places, especially for breakfast. Why? Because I could go with my thermal cup, I drink my tea, I go again, I drink my tea, I could sit there because, you know, it's nice, there's ambience, there's a centerpiece, there's a tablecloth. No one will disturb me. I can run into a lecturer and expand my networks. You know, this is how I used to reason. So I moved from that, from eating at NSC and staff cafeteria to eating at Serena. Now, Serena is a bit cheaper. A plate of rice and beef costs around 120 shillings. You know? It's more composed, more students. There's a water dispenser. There's a fridge. It's just nice. Food is hot. Yeah, you're just relaxed. You can sit there and have lunch for an hour. So I did that for a while. And then I also saw, this place is also expensive. So I downgraded. And then I went to the mess. Now, the mess is a very interesting place because a plate of rice and beef is 45 bob. So moving from paying 120 bob to 45 bob for me was like, I am in the right place. But the mess, you need to go and eat between 11 and 11:30 because otherwise you will not find beef, you will not find chapati. The rice you find will be so cold, you will wish you'd never ate it. But you know, it's a small sacrifice. I save around 60 bob eating at the mess as opposed to eating at Serena. So that 60 bob, what do I use? Where is the value in the 60 bob? Because in Serena, there's a water dispenser. So the 60 bob is paying for the convenience of a water dispenser, the convenience of a tablecloth, the convenience of a centerpiece, which I don't even use, and you know, the fact that I can sit with my friends and we chat for hours on end. But in the mess, it is a eat and live system. Eat and live. Because there's no form of ambience in that place. First of all, you eat with fork and fork. There are no spoons. Spoons are non-existent in the mess. It's fork and fork. Secondly, in Juja, you can get into school through 3 gates. There's gate A, there's gate B, and there's gate C. So I live in gate C, which means gate C is closest to my house. And I love living in gate C because it's secure. It's just close to the school. Most of my friends live there. It's a nice place to live. But occasionally, I have classes in gate B, which is like a 15 or 20-minute walk, depending on how fast you walk. So whenever I have classes in gate B or a friend in gate B, my solution was always to use a boda. And a boda costs 50 bob. So if I'm going to gate B and coming back to my house, I've spent 100 bob. And I might not go to gate B just once. I can go to gate B thrice in a day. So how much am I using on transport? A lot of money. So immediately I went back to campus. I was like, no more bodas for me. If I need to go to gate B, I will leave my house 30 minutes earlier so that I can stroll. And if it is sun, I will carry my umbrella or a hat. So I no longer spend money on bodas. And lastly, I live in Kawaskari, and I go to school in Juja. A matatu from Juja to Kawaskari costs around 30 shillings. But I hate using matatus because you will just be packed like small PKs, you know, mmefinywa. The matatu is old, it's smelly, I just don't like it. So I decided I'm going to be going home with buses. And these are express buses that come to town. An express bus from Juja to town is 100 shillings. So I just used to be like, it's okay. It's just once a week anyway. So I used to board the bus from Juja to home. It takes me around 10 minutes to get home, and I've paid my 100 shillings. But what I didn't know is that when you walk just past the stage a bit. There are buses that still go to Town Express, but they are 50 bob. So these buses for 100 bob are those big buses with lights and graffiti and all these things young people like, boom, boom, twaf, twaf, all those things. So I'm paying an extra 50 bob because of the paint job, because of the music, and because of the conductor's lifestyle. No, he'll have a bottle of Fanta hapa nyuma, he'll be chewing some miraa, ataniita mrembo, you know, these things. When I'm having a bad day, ataniita mrembo, and it'll put a smile on my face. It's okay, I'll take it, it's fine. So I ceased to use those buses, and now I use these loafers and Kenya Mpyas. And you know, there's once I got into a Kenya Mpya, and the entrance was just full of chicken. And I am petrified of chicken, petrified. But you know, I was just like, it's okay. I'll just ingia this Kenya Mpya and funga my machos, and it's fine, because I'm saving how much? 50 bob. Yeah, so I encourage all of you to sign up for Centonomy. No, take a chance. Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. You know that song, yeah? Yeah, so take a chance. It's the beginning of the year. You have so much ahead of you. And Centonomy will help you. And if it doesn't help you, then you can't be helped, really. You just cannot be helped. That's the fact. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to end by saying money is an idea. And to make money, all you need to do is change your thinking. Thank you so much.